What is up, you guys? Your boy back bringing you another Shinobi Striker video, and today we're just going to be going over all of the clone jutsus, these substitution jutsus that we have in the game so far, and also just be showing you the descriptions they have for it. Now before the video starts, to get all the clone jutsus, the substitution jutsus, along with any of the jutsus that you want that the character has, you have to go over here to Sasuke to get any of the jutsus they have. That's how you get it. I've been getting some comments on my last video on how to get some jutsus. You have to train under the mentor and you'll be able to get the jutsus, and you have to level up the mentor as well. And the fastest way to level up your mentor is by doing online matches. Don't do the PvE matches, the side missions. Those would just take forever. The fastest way is to play online, and that's what I've been doing the whole time. So now on to the clone jutsus. So we have a total of 12 clone jutsus that we can pick from, and also they do different things. As you can see by the substitution jutsu, the power and range, there's a 0% on that, and the cooldown rate is 20, and I'll be getting to all this shortly. So as for these normal substitution jutsu, this doesn't really do anything besides escaping from your opponent. So a clone doesn't pop up. All you do is basically just leave in the battle arena and try to defend yourself and escaping from the fight. And also this is one of the better ones for the cooldown rate, because it is only 20 seconds, but it's only 20 seconds because it doesn't do anything. You don't summon a clone and it has no effects to it. You're just running away from battle, which is actually great for PvP matches, because obviously you want the lowest amount of time to make your jutsu regenerate faster. So that's basically it for the substitution jutsu. Now on to the shadow clone jutsu. This one, as you can see, the power and range is also 0, but the cooldown rate is 25 seconds. So this one, it's basically like the substitution jutsu, except you do get replaced by a shadow clone, and that shadow clone will take the hits for you, so you can use this, and the opponent that you were fighting will still continue on fighting that shadow clone, so it'll give you time to escape or maybe come in for a counter attack. But this shadow clone doesn't have any effects to it like all the other ones. And moving on to the Eton Clone. This one, as you can see, is 30 seconds and the power and range is 1. So this one is 30 seconds because it does have an effect that it does to your opponent once you use your substitution. It creates a clone out of ink, allowing the user to switch out and escape from enemy attacks. The clone also uses ink to confuse his enemy. The jutsu has a long cooldown time. So all the ones with the effects does have a longer cooldown time, but it does do something to your enemy. This one in particular, it confuses your enemy, so you will be able to make a clean counterattack with this, or you can escape with your teammates, whichever one you prefer. Now moving on to the lightning style shadow clone jutsu. This one and majority of the other shadow clone jutsus are pretty similar. So this one, the lightning style shadow clone jutsu, you use it and your clone will have lightning chakra. So if your opponent hits the clone, he will get paralyzed by the lightning style jutsu, and just like all the others, you'll be able to escape or come in with a counterattack. Same with the wood clone jutsu, except the power on this is a 2. They got 2 fireballs or whatever those are, and the cooldown rate is the same, it's 30 seconds. So what this one does is creates a clone made out of wood, and when the jutsu is successful, so when the opponent hits the clone will capture the enemy and slow down their speed. This jutsu also has a long cooldown rate, like I said before. So this one does slow down your opponent's speed. So that's if you like the wood clone jutsu, if you're into that. And the high speed movement. This one is basically the same thing like the substitution jutsu, which is the very first one. It's the same thing, no power, no range, and the cooldown rate is 20 seconds. This one, you don't substitute it for a log. It's basically the same thing. This one is under Rock Lee. And the next one is the sand clone. The power on this is 1 and the range is 1. Cooldown is 30 seconds. So what this clone does is it can bind and paralyze your enemies. So that's pretty cool with this one. And the clay clone jutsu, I kind of like this one. This one's one of my favorites, but the power on this is 2 and the range is 1, and the cooldown is 30 seconds. So what this one does, it's actually noticeable too, as you can see by this clip. So you create a clone made out of clay, and this one actually explodes on your opponent, dealing damage to your targets and the enemies around it. So I like this one, but it does have a 30 cooldown rate. And next is the water clone jutsu. This power is 1, range is 1, and what this one does in particular, it lowers your target's defense. So this one's especially good instead of running away after using your substitution clone. Since this one does lower your target's defense, I would rather come in for a counterattack. Moving on to the bird clone jutsu. Power is 1, range is 1, cooldown 30 seconds. And when you use this substitution jutsu, it creates birds. And what this one does, it has a small chance of lowering the target's attack and defense. So that's actually pretty good. And I think this one will work best with attack types because it does lower their attack and defense. So you can come in hard and start attacking them. And moving on to the last one, which is paper clone jutsu. Power on this is 2, range is 1, cooldown 30 seconds. Now the power for this is 2 because this one actually seals your enemy's ninjutsu. I'm not too sure how long, but it does seal ninjutsu, so that's pretty good. And this one you get under Konan. And if you want the ink clone, you get this one under Sai. The lightning style, you get this one under Kakashi. Wood clone, you get this under Yamato. High speed movement is Rock Lee. Sand is Gaara. The clay clone is from Deidara. And the water clone is from Kasame. The bird clone, I believe that's from Itachi. And yeah, this is it. This is all the substitution jutsus that they have under each character in the game so far. And I believe most of this is just preference, like whichever one you like more. But some of them do come in play if you like to play competitive on PvP. Like I think substitution jutsu and the high speed movement, since they do have the lowest cooldown rate, and if you're a competitive player, you might want to put that on because you want to get out of trouble as fast as possible if you're getting double teamed or triple teamed. So that does come in awesome. And also stuff like the lightning style jutsu, you know, stuff that paralyzes your opponent. I think that's also good for a competitive play because it does paralyze them, so you have a better chance of escaping and regrouping with your teammates. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, this is basically it for the video. I just wanted to show you guys all the jutsus and what they did. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will be doing more Shinobi Striker content. So make sure to stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.